Hey guys, welcome back to my channel once again. The name is Michael Acheampong, and in today's video I'm going to take you through the actual step-by-step process in order to apply to US colleges or university as an international student. So if you are interested, let's get into the video.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight.
Okay, so in this video I'm going to break down the stages into four processes or stages, and I hope by the end of the video you'll be able to get relevant information that will help you to apply to your schools in the US. The first stage or the first process is the document compilation process. This is when you start gathering all the documents that you'll be needing in order to apply to US universities. So the first document will be the passport. You need to have your transcript or any other external exam, the SAT or the TOEFL, and recommendation letter, as well as your resume. So these are the documents that you'll be needing. You need a passport because during your application process, the school will be needing the front page of your passport. So you need to have that in hand before starting your application process. You need your transcript because the school will need your previous academic performance or record. So you need to have that. Someone may ask, can you choose any other document instead of your transcript? Yes, but it depends on the school. You can choose to submit other academic record like your external examination certificate. You can choose to submit that, but it really depends on the school. You have to know whether the school will accept that. If not, you have to submit the transcript. You also need the SAT, but it is not a compulsory thing to have for every university or college. Some schools require the SAT. The reason is the SAT is a scholastic test, so we use the SAT to consider you for some scholarship package. So if you have the SAT, it is a very good tool for you to submit during your application process. The TOEFL is different from the SAT. It's not a scholastic test. The TOEFL is an English proficiency test. So students coming from non-English speaking countries are required to submit the TOEFL. If you are coming from an English-speaking country, it is not really compulsory for you to submit it because you can prove to the university that you have been studying English throughout your education. However, some schools make it mandatory, so if that is the case, you definitely have to write the TOEFL. The recommendation letter, I would highly recommend that you have at least 3 recommendation letters. One from your previous institution counselor and 2 from your tutors. That would be good for it. And you need to have your resume. So that will be the document you need to start with for your application process. So the next stage will be searching for colleges or universities. This is the most difficult part of the whole process because here is where you are going to search for the schools that you are going to be attending. In my situation, I based this upon 3 criteria. First criteria was whether I met the school requirement. So I was searching for schools that I'm going to meet their requirement. The second criteria was funding or scholarship. I was searching for schools that was going to give me enough funding. And the third criteria was my program of study. I needed a college that offered the program that I wanted to pursue. So these were the 3 criteria that I based my searching upon. So you have to know the criteria you are using for searching your schools. And when I was searching for my schools, it was very hard for me because at that time I didn't know the best way for searching schools. All I did was I went to Google and I searched for US colleges or universities, and that was very overwhelming because there are a whole lot of schools here in the US, more than 4,000 schools. So you can imagine going through these schools was not an easy task or job for me to do until I came across the 3 best website that was able to help me to filter out the schools according to my requirement. So finding that website was really helpful. If you want to know the 3 websites I'm talking about, I have linked the video up there. You can go to the video and look at the website. I've explained it there. I will also have the link in the description. You can choose to watch the video, and this website is going to be very helpful to you. It is going to drastically reduce your time that you are going to use in searching for schools in the US. So whilst I was searching for the schools, what I did was I got a notebook where I recorded every bit of school that I wanted to attend, or the school that met my requirement during the searching process. So once I found out that this school meets my requirement, I write it down, and I also make sure I write the application deadline as well as the scholarship deadline and the types of scholarship that they have and the amount of scholarship that they will have to offer me. I jotted all this in a notebook for reference sake, because you can't have every school that you are going to come across in your mind. You can't. So to help you to remember all the schools that you have been able to search for, you have to get a notebook. I will recommend that to you. Get a notebook. Once you find out that this school meets your requirement, they have the scholarship that you are looking for, they have they meet whatever that you want them to have. You jot those schools down, you jot their deadlines, their scholarship, and the requirement they need from you. You jot everything down so that it is going to help you during your application process. So this was what I did whilst I was searching for my school. The 3rd stage was the application process. So once you are done searching for your schools and you have all the schools that you want, mind you, you can apply to as many schools that you want. So once you have all the schools that you think really meet your criteria and your requirements and you really want to apply, then you start with the application process. This is when you are about to submit your document that you have already compiled. You are going to submit the document to these schools. And the application process, we have different ways of submitting your application, but I'm going to talk about the 3 common or most popular ways that most people go by. The first one is the regular application. So this is where you use the regular application on the colleges or the university's website. Yes, the universities, they have their own application. When you go to their website, you can use that application to apply to the school. We also have the common app. This application allows you to submit your application to 20 schools simultaneously. So all you have to fill out the details on the application form. Mind you, there are a lot of questions that they will ask from you, so embrace yourself for those questions. But once you are done, you don't need to do anything else. You can submit to 20 universities. You also have the coalition application. It is more or less like the common app, but this one you can submit your application to unlimited number of schools in the US. Most people choose to go with the common app and the coalition app because they think with the common app and the coalition app you can have an application fee waiver. Since some schools need application fee before you can submit your application, when you use the common app and the coalition app, you can apply for an application waiver. But you can also use the regular application to apply to schools that do not require application fee. You can use that, and that was what I used. I used the regular application. I, however, also use the common app. So you can choose to use any of these ways to apply to these schools. So in the application process, I started with the school with the earliest application deadline. So I went in that order. So if I say this school is having the earliest deadline, that is the school I will start with, and I followed in that order so that I'll be able to finish applying to each and every school that have already jotted them in my notebook. So that is why there will be a need for you to have a notebook during your searching process whilst you are searching for the schools. That is why there will be a need for you to have the notebook. So the next stage is the scholarship application process. Yes, as an international student coming to US to attend a university is quite expensive. I'm not going to lie to you, it is really expensive. So having scholarship is going to be very helpful for you. So some schools do not require scholarship application. Once you submit your application for admission, you are automatically considered for their academic scholarship. In some schools, they do not do that. You have to submit a scholarship application form. So you have to know this is very important. You have to know whether the school requires application for their scholarship package. If they do, you do well to find the application and you apply. Some of the scholarship requires essay, so you need to write an essay and attach it to your application before you can be able to apply. These were the stages that I wanted to share with you, and I believe if you follow these stages, you can be able to land yourself here in a US university or college. If you are interested in a full tuition university or college or a full ride university here in the US, I have a video about that. I have linked the video on the screen. Do what to click and watch the video about that. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and also turn on the notification bell.